South Asia is home to nearly 2 billion people. It has some of the world's longest coastlines and highest mountains. But today, it is also at the front line for climate change. From deadly heat waves to catastrophic floods, extreme weather is no longer a future threat. We explain why South Asia has become so vulnerable, how countries are responding to the situation, and why weather has become the defining test for the region's survival. So to understand why the region is so at risk, well, we have to look at its geography. South Asia is trapped between three massive natural forces. First, we've got the mountains in the north. The Himalayas hold the largest body of ice outside the poles. And as they start melting at record speeds, by the way, well, they send too much water into the rivers during the monsoon and not enough during the dry season. Second, we have the oceans. It's basically a giant peninsula, and these warming seas act as an engine, fueling the powerful cyclones that strike countries like Bangladesh and India every single year. Third, we have the river deltas. Millions of people live on land that is basically just a few feet above sea level. When the ocean rises or the rivers overflow, there's nowhere to run. It's not only geography, but the other half of the story is how we build. South Asia is home to some of the fastest growing cities on Earth, and that rapid urbanization is a massive issue. Now let's talk about the heat, the silent killer. In South Asia, heat waves are becoming longer, hotter, and more frequent. They strain power grids, damage crops, and for the millions that work outdoors, such as farmers, construction workers, and street vendors, they're putting their life at threatening risk. And in cities, this problem is even worse. Because of the urbanization, green spaces are replaced with concrete, creating that heat island effect. So during the day, the concrete absorbs the sun, and at night, it stays hot. For people living without reliable electricity or cooling, it can be fatal. And that's why climate experts warn that heat is now our deadliest threat. Then there's the water. So in the north, we've got the Himalayan glaciers that are melting at a record pace. In the south, the monsoon rains have become impossible to predict. So when heavy rain hits, drainage systems simply fail. We saw this in 2025 when floods across India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka killed thousands and cost over $5 billion in damage. They destroyed crops and homes. Not to mention, they reverse years of economic progress in just a few days. But that's not all. For the coastal South Asia, there's an additional threat. We're talking about cyclones, stronger storms, higher storm surges, and rising sea levels in all this sector. Countries like Bangladesh, India, and Sri Lanka have improved early warning systems, but the population growth along the coastlines increases the exposure. So when the cyclones hit, unfortunately, the poorest communities are often hit the hardest. So adapting to climate change is expensive. South Asian countries need funding for resilient infrastructure, climate-smart agriculture, yet financing is limited. This is not just an environmental issue anymore, it's a regional stability issue. South Asia's climate crisis is no longer a warning, it's a present reality. From the record-breaking heat waves to devastating flood cyclones, extreme weather is already rewriting daily life across the region. Now, the question is no longer whether the crisis is coming, it is whether the region acts fast enough to withstand it.